Welcome to You Can Emerge Positive, and I'm your host, Deanne Lewis. Today we're going to talk about feeling lonely. I know that's not like a very positive topic, but it's a real one. I mean, the recent research is showing that 1 in 6 Americans said they were feeling very lonely yesterday, just yesterday. So if you are feeling down and you're feeling lonely, you're not alone. And so I wanted to take a moment today to talk a little bit about this and about how you can do some very simple steps and things to help shift you out of feeling in this place of loneliness before it gets to be something worse. And so I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that we're going to join in this conversation because, again, it's real. It's something that a lot of people are dealing with. I know I have definitely dealt with it throughout my life, and I still am dealing with it now. It's interesting how loneliness shows up in so many different arenas. When I was younger, I first experienced loneliness after I got divorced. I was in my early 30s, and up until then, I had constantly been surrounded by people. I was either living at home when I was younger, or then I got married and I lived with my husband, and now I was on my own and living far across the country from all of my childhood friends and my family. And so it really struck me for the first time of how loneliness really impacts everything. It impacts your perception and your confidence, your self-value. It really does kind of have a play on how you're showing up in the world and then your choices and what you're creating as a result. So loneliness is serious, for certain, and it's also not fun. I mean, now I'm in my ugh, I'm in my midlife years, they say. I'm totally rejecting that, by the way, but I'm in my midlife years, and I'm now experiencing a different kind of loneliness because my life has gotten into this new area where I just don't have friends, like really good friends that live nearby. All of my friends, which are amazing, but they live far away from me. And so I can't just go out to coffee with them. I can't go take a walk with them. I can't do things with people that I genuinely want to spend time with. So I'm at this point where I'm asking, what do I do? I mean, how do I do that? And that's a big part of this conversation today is how can you get from this place of feeling lonely or alone and your confidence is wavering as a result and your self-worth is wavering as a result. How do we move through this? So I want you to take a breath. We're here together, you're here with me, and the fact that we are here together is showing that you are taking a step in a new direction. This is already something new. So let's just dive in real quick. This is going to be a short and sweet one. So I told you about me going through my divorce and being single. And some of the things that I encountered after that was kind of interesting in that, the first time to the grocery store, I went by myself and I was like traumatized by that because I had always gone to the grocery store with my husband at that point, which is kind of strange. I think that's strange now, but at the time that we both always went. So going by myself was hard. And my first time to a movie by myself in a movie theater, that was so hard. And then the first time going on a trip by myself, that was hard. Except I've got to tell you, you've got to do it. I have preached this from the mountaintops to every person, especially women that I've talked to, but men too. If you are single, especially if you're single, because then this is easy thing to do. Go somewhere you really want to go and go on your own. For me, it was Italy. I had told myself, I am going to go to Italy with the love of my life, and it is going to be this fabulous trip. And all of a sudden, I'm about to be turning 40, and I still haven't gone to Italy. And I realized, oh my gosh, I am tying something that I really want, going to Italy, with the idea that I have to be in a relationship. Like, why am I putting up that hurdle or the wall in front of that? So I just finally said, screw it. I'm going. And I went for my 40th birthday. I took 2 weeks by myself. I do not speak Italian. I had never been before, obviously. And I just decided I'm doing this. And I did. And I got to tell you, it was the best thing I ever did. And you know something? Not once did I feel lonely. That when you're in Europe, there are so many Americans there traveling around, and there are so many people from all over the world traveling in Italy. So there are people everywhere you go. And in the cafes and the restaurants, it's different than in America. Like the tables are very close together, so you are not dining by yourself. There are people literally like right there. And if you just open yourself up to starting a conversation, you'll find that pretty soon you'll have this dialogue across tables and it can be so much fun. I had a blast, literally the time of my life. And as a result, I really do put it out there and suggest, if it's available to you, to go somewhere you want. It doesn't have to be all the way to Europe. It could be somewhere in the US. It could be down the street, but go do it. I think that's probably the overall message that I'm going to be saying in this podcast today is if you are feeling lonely, the key is you need to do something different. You have to nudge yourself to start an action of getting out of your house. Now, I don't know if it's just me about this, but since COVID, I have not gotten out to the level that I had before COVID. I am still at home all the time. I mean, I work from home, but I worked from home before too. I still am not out there as much as I want to be, and that's on me. So if you're in that same boat and you're finding like you're spending all of your kind of personal time inside your house, well, you're not going to be around other people. You've got to get yourself out. So how do you do that? I would say that the kind of the easiest way is make a list. Like literally tomorrow or right now, pull out a piece of paper and write down what are the things that bring you joy? What are the things that you'd like to do? What are the sports you want to play? What is the hobbies that you enjoy? Do you play a musical instrument? Where do you want to travel? What food do you want to try or go and explore? Write them all down because that is what you should do. Because when you go and do something that you want, you will then be putting yourself amongst other people that share that same like. You know, if it's a hobby where you like to golf, well, no one, you know, you get put in a foursome. So you're automatically going to talk to three other people by just doing that. And that's just one little tiny example. There are also clubs. All of the communities have clubs. If I know here in San Diego, there are clubs for running and for biking. They're all over the place. And it allows you to do what you enjoy, but you do it with other people who also enjoy it. And that is all, that common ground will automatically start friendships and dialogue and allow you to feel like you are a part of something. And I know, especially the men out there, this is the main way that they connect. They connect through sports and activities and action. Women, we connect in a different way. Personally, I would go to a restaurant. And I highly also recommend if you are single or you are alone, go to a restaurant and sit at the bar. Eat dinner at the bar. You don't have to get a drink if you don't drink alcohol, that's cool. But sit at the bar. Don't get a table by yourself or don't not go. Go to your favorite restaurant and sit at the bar and see what happens. And make eye contact. Chat with the bartender. Like one of the best lines I think that opens communication when you're out in public is ask them, you know, if you're at Starbucks or at a bar or you're at the grocery store in the checkout line, say, hey, how's your day going? You know how many people ask them that? Zero. Like you're actually showing interest in what is going on for them and you're opening up conversation. Another big thing to open conversation with any stranger is, and it has to be genuine though, is to offer a compliment. If they are wearing something that you think is really cool or pretty, or you like the color, or their shoes are different or cool, say something. I was always told to not hold back a compliment. So if you have something nice to say about something about that person, tell them. There is not a soul on this planet that doesn't want to hear something good about what they are doing, whether it's their shirt, their bag, whatever. If you have a compliment and you share that with them and it's genuine, and I've got to stretch that, it's got to be genuine. But if it is, that will open up dialogue in a way that if you've not done it before, it's shocking. So try that. Those are some very, very easy things for when you do get yourself out there, how to just have a short dialogue. And it may only be two or three back and forths, but that's okay. Then you move on and you sit down at Starbucks and you have your coffee and you read your book or your iPad or whatever, and you may be able to strike up conversation with somebody else. But at least you're out and amongst other people. The other thing is, this really comes down, I really believe that loneliness comes down to how you're feeling about yourself in general. It's your confidence and your self-esteem that is driving it. So if you're feeling lonely, the odds are that your confidence and self-esteem are also very low, or at least a little low. So focus on what you can do to help bolster that, whether it's go get your hair cut, go to the gym or take a walk. Go to, if you enjoy being in wilderness, go take a drive out to the country. It's fall. This is like a beautiful time to be outside because of the colors and fall, the the crispness of the air. I mean, it is so, so, so nice. So go drop yourself into locations that will just make you feel better. The air alone, I mean, when I go to the beach, it's my thing, and I can just breathe in the beach air and listen to those waves. It changes everything for me. So, this is kind of a combination of we've got to work on our own self-esteem and our own confidence. And while we're also kind of dropping ourselves out in the world, doing things that we love. I'm not asking you to do something that you hate. I'm not asking you to go get a root canal or do all that kind of stuff. Go do something that you genuinely love doing. Odds are you've backed off of that. So put yourself out there doing the things that you love and then open conversation, open a dialogue with the people that you're coming across in that time, while you're also taking the time for building your own self-confidence and your own self-esteem. They are definitely, definitely linked. Now, I've got to tell you, being alone does not necessarily mean that you are lonely, and it is a mindset. It is something that is has to be worked on. And I mean, in my personal experience, because I've been in both. Once I was divorced and single for 10 years. And when I first got divorced, it was miserable. And for the first year, I was just a mess. And then after that, I made the decision that I was going to get married pretty quickly. I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to move forward, blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't happen, clearly. 10 years as when I was single. So over that time, I would say the last five for sure, I loved it. I loved being single. I embraced it fully. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed going outside and meeting new people. In fact, I literally got to a point where I traveled a lot for work, and when I would get in my car to get to the airport, I would say to myself, "Oh my gosh, I wonder who I'm going to run into today." What exciting conversation or person or human being or experience is going to cross my path today? Like I looked at it as this wonderful opportunity and it was just fun. But it was I forced that. I created that. And that's something that I'm asking you to try as well. If you approach life as this opportunity and wonderful thing, then guess what? It will be. So, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. This is every Wednesday. You Can Emerge Positive podcast will be right here. And if you know someone who is experiencing loneliness or who would just enjoy this, please let them know. We're trying to build this community, and anything that you can do to help, I greatly, greatly appreciate. I want to remind you before we go that you are in control of creating your life and that those little tiny steps, little tiny things that you do make a big, big difference. You can emerge positive. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next week.